Yo, good morning. How are we all going? What are we doing today? Oh yeah. Oh, I've got a dog hair on the lens. On today's video, I need to firstly go grab a pat from the best beagle in the world. Hey buddy, how are you? Anyway, obviously you've seen the title of today's video and you already know what we're doing. I just need to go grab, firstly, a tripod, secondly, the snowboard. So let's do that. Need this guy, and then I guess my other pair of bindings in here. Yes, they certainly are. Binding, some gloves, some discs. Cool. Now, when it comes to snowboards, I'm definitely not like an expert lord of like, well, this side cut and this camber and this, that, and the technology and the forces and all that rubbish. Well, it's not really rubbish, it is serious stuff about snowboarding. But I did work in a rental shop for 2 years. Not 2 years, 2 winter seasons. So I know my way around a snowboard pretty confidently. Anyway, so I bought this snowboard because I was meant to go to Japan, and it didn't happen. Life sort of, and I didn't go. So the board I will be setting up today is the Dinosaurs Will Die Wizard Stick 154. This board is a traditional camber, I believe, with, I think it goes camber to, hold on. Yeah, so it goes camber between the feet, so between your bindings, camber between your feet to flat to rocket tip and tail. This board might actually look like it is directional, but that is not the case. It is a twin snowboard. It's pretty much just had the nose here just chopped off into a square back, but it's a super funky shape. A lot of my mates rode it, and I feel like it was just one of those things, just watching so many people shred on this board just made me want to buy one. And before I left Whistler in the summer, they had a big sale on. I picked this thing up really cheap. The main reason that I did purchase this for Japan was because I didn't want to take heaps of snowboards over there. So I was obviously going to take a powder board, but I just wanted to have just a normal twin board as well. And the beauty of this thing is that it does have these setback binding, what would you call them? I guess mounts. So you can have a setback stance, so you can sort of sit a bit more further back on the board and actually take use of the nose and the raise in the tips. So the tip and the tail, to take full advantage of that shape. But yeah, so I don't know. Do I make this video like a how to set up your snowboard? I think we'll do that. We'll do that. How to set up a snowboard. I guess I could go into like snowboard shapes and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do that because that is like a whole nother video in itself. If you would like me to talk about snowboard shapes, let me know. I definitely know enough. I guess if we're doing a how to set up a snowboard video, you're gonna firstly need 1, a snowboard, and then 2, a pair of bindings. These are gonna be super important. I think these are just Union Stratas maybe. I don't know off the top of my head, I can't really remember. Oh no, Contact Pros. If you're a complete newbie, and you have no idea, and you've stumbled across this video on how to set up a snowboard, I guess it's important to know whether or not you're regular or you're goofy. So if you ride with your left foot forward or your right foot forward. And now if you've never snowboarded before and you don't know, it's probably best to set yourself up in a neutral stance. So that means that the angles of both your feet will be the same regardless. So as you're learning to ride, whether or not you feel comfortable being with your left foot forward or your right foot forward, the board will be set up perfectly for you to just figure it out on the run. So for me, I am goofy, so that is going to be with my right foot forward. So the board is currently the wrong way, even though this board technically is a twin, and it would not realistically matter. If you're someone like me, I like to just have the top sheet being the correct way for the way I ride most of the time. Now, when it comes to how wide you should have your bindings, this is all at the rider's discretion. You know, it's all up to the rider, really. But for most learners, they do recommend reference. So the reference width is usually about 20, I think it's like 22 inches. And that's usually going to be the center rivets on the board. So rivets, I guess, what do you call them? They're just screws, really, but they're binding mounts, whatever. There's probably a correct name for them, and I just can't think of it right now. But that's going to be the reference center of the board, usually about shoulder width apart. There's lots of ways that you can measure someone. You can measure from the top of your knee to the bottom of your foot, and that'll give like a rough idea of how wide your stance should be. But it's all realistically trial and error until you find what's comfortable. But for me, because I sort of have this park-ish stance about my riding, I ride a little bit more narrow, just because I've personally felt it helps me more when it comes to spinning on my board. And I guess a lot of people can argue differently, because I've filmed so many people throughout my time in snowboarding who ride with a wider stance, who ride with their feet more open, who ride with their feet more closed. Like, it really comes down to what you find more comfortable. I don't necessarily think there is a right or wrong way, and it's all really about experimenting how you like riding and how it makes your body feel, because everybody's body is different. Now, if you look on the inside of your bindings, you'll find that there is a range of numbers that range from 30 to 30. And that's going to be positive 30 to negative 30. I'm not 100% sure if you can see that. You can just see that there on my binding. Once again, this is all going to be rider preference on how you like to ride. If you are completely new to snowboarding, I do recommend that you start off with a 12-12 stance. So that's going to be your front foot opened at 12 degrees positive and your back foot at 12 degrees negative, just so you do have that equal stance, that neutral stance. So there is the board is pretty much the exact same either way. And like, once again, throughout the years, snowboarding has changed and how people ride, their stance has changed. And this does come a lot down to how your knees sort of are as well. A lot of people tend to have their front foot a little bit more open than their back foot, depending on their riding style. If you're riding deep power and you want more of a surfy feel, a lot of people would have their front foot opened a lot more, maybe their back foot closed off a little bit, just so it feels like they are surfing. But for me, and because I do like to ride my snowboard both ways, I like to keep my stance neutral, so it's the same on both. And I think I'm currently riding at 9.9. I think that's what I'm riding. I can't really remember. Obviously, I haven't been riding too much as of late, but I think I was at 9.9. There was a stage where I was riding 6.6. I was really straight, and I just wasn't a big fan of that. So I'm going to set this board up at 9.9. Now, you'll find that there's little lines between the 30 degrees, obviously the positive and the negative, and they work in increments of 3. So the closest you'll find, depending on the binding, will be 15, and if I want 9, I'm going to go back 2 lines from 15, because that'll go 12, then 9, and then that'll be my front foot. And because I've ridden this board before, obviously not this one, but previous boards, I will set myself. Am I going to go those ones, or am I going to go those ones? I'm going to go there. Now, if you want, and you want to be real, by the book and stuff, you can get a tape measure out, and you can measure from the back point of the binding to the back point of the binding to give you a reference point. To give you your measurement of how wide your stance is. But because I have done this many a times throughout my 2 seasons working at a rental shop, and then also just, you know, throughout the years of snowboarding, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I just sort of know how I like my board set up, and I'm going to do that. That's pretty straightforward, and that is my snowboard setup at right foot forward, well, goofy, at my binding set at 9 degrees. That's just personally how I like to ride them. It's a 154 Dinosaurs by Wizard stick. In terms of board size, like, people, depending on the type of snowboard shop you go to, and depending how the people are, you know, they might try to size you up by your height, but a snowboard doesn't know how tall you are, it knows how heavy you are. So always keep that in mind. Like a 154 to most people, I'm like 6 foot, so it's probably a little bit short than what most people would ride, but I'm only about 80 kilos, so I can ride this board with no dramas at all. But yeah, just make sure you go to a good snowboard shop. I'd recommend Pacific Prism. Guys down there are fantastic. But yeah, now let's chuck some accessories onto the board. So these are the Crab Grab skate rails. As you can see here, they're designed to go in the middle of your board, just like this, like so. Because this top sheet is real glossy, so when there's snow on there and when you're having to skate around, so when you've got your front foot strapped in and your back foot's out trying to push around or do whatever you're doing on T-bars or just whatever you're doing, having these guys really helps to just keep yourself extremely sturdy on the board, and just give you that little bit of grip in the middle, so when you put your foot down on the T-bar, it doesn't slide off and stuff like that. Because, man, when I was learning how to snowboard, like, I legitimately hated T-bars with a passion, because I was shit at them, and it was because my boards that I was riding, they never had stomp pads. Like, honestly, stomp pads are I need to put that further back. Stomp pads are the best things in the world, and they just honestly help so much when it comes to board control. And they also give you the ability to try to do maybe some one-footed tricks with a bit more confidence, like maybe hitting like a rail with 1 foot or something like that. But yeah, so highly recommend stomp pads. I really like these Crab Grab ones because they're not as aggressive as what some other type of stomp pads look like, and they sort of look pretty cool in my opinion. So highly recommend those guys if you are looking to get some stomp pads for your boards. And I guess lastly, I don't know. Like, Yama Society sent me some decals to put on my board, but they're black. I don't know if the black would look real good, because I've got white and my stomp pad's white, my sticker's white. It's all about fashion. It's all about fashion over function, even though it's only a sticker and it does nothing for the board. See, getting sticker decals off the things has to be like the most annoying thing in the world. But anyway, I am going to put it on. I think I'm going to put it down over here. Let's see what it looks like. I put the first one on, and if it doesn't look any good, I'll just take it off. This is going horribly. Oh, the eye, the dot of the eye, come on. We got there, guys. We got there. Took us a while, but we got there. I'm glad you guys were here for the journey. Maybe clean your board too. It looks like I've got stuff under the sticker. Now that it's on there, it actually does look pretty sick. Looking like a pro rider, even though I'm definitely not. I do have some mitts with Yama Society, three versions actually, and I do support obviously Pacific Prism. I think they're a great local snowboard shop, and I love the guys down there. So I'll have my board look like I know what I'm doing, but I really don't. Anyway, that's it, all done. Hope you guys learned something from today's video. You know, just to, I guess, recap it, you know, find out what stance you are, and if you don't know yet, make sure you ride with an even stance. And I guess that's realistically it. It's always, like, when it comes to snowboard stance, it's all really trial and error until you find what works perfectly for you. But if you are beginning, I do recommend a equal stance of 12-12, and make sure you are in the center of the board, and yeah, you should be in for a good time. It actually turned out pretty sick once I got the bindings and the new sticker decals on there. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to like and then maybe even subscribe. I do post every Monday and now every Thursday. Thursday videos being a little bit more different from my Monday videos. Monday videos are usually more mountain biking, snowboarding type things, more action, out there doing things. When my Thursday videos are a bit more vlogish, how to set up snowboards, and just other random stuff that I get up to in my day-to-day life. With that all said and done, if you'd like to keep up with me during the week, you can definitely follow me at Ronocco here. I do post quite regularly on Instagram. If you're actually interested in the stuff that I create for work, you can follow the Sydney Indoor MX Dome, where I create all the content there. If you are into motorbike riding and stuff like that, it might be a page you'd like to follow. But with that all said and done, hope you have a good one, and I'll see you guys next Monday. Peace. I should be able to hit it from here. Heyo!